okay, like I say I put my money on Team Adroit after game 1, but I still want to go with Execration. Right?
Still with Execration.
I'm still going with Execration.
Me too, actually. I want to go for Execration here, like just giving them mental support. And I think this is one of the best games that they might be able to get a win on. You know, Adroit, they're trying new stuff, they're trying the Elder Titan thing.
Is it going to be one hero the entire way, or does it eventually they meet up in the middle?
I think this is something like a 6-4 matchup in favor of Kunkka. Because Kunkka can always do more harassment without using mana.
But isn't there the chance that the Tiny could just come in once he's got levels in Avatos and just try and go for the snipe?
I think Kunkka is way too tanky for that, especially after you get 2 Brazier, which is the very common build of Kunkka nowadays. Very good job top. They are aiming down the board. They want to make sure that like the board gives away a lot of EXP and gold. You always want to kill the board at level 1 especially. And they have good ways to do that, right? The Sniping Dagger and Blink USP. You can even get a point on the Illuminate to get to kill the board.
We're going to rotate another hero in that top lane. There we go.
A little bit aggressive.
It's going to be Palos getting that first blood as well. So already good news for Execration, first blood, and it's on their most important hero, which is that Morphling. Speaking of that top lane though, so as a Beastmaster, are you happy with how that lane is, or would you actually want to apply more pressure into that top lane? Because you don't want to be giving away the boars away, of course, but you're dealing against, you're going up against a Keeper of the Light, and you want to shut down the PA. Do you need to bring another hero into that top lane, or do you just sort of need to bite the bullet and deal with it later?
Yeah, I think we want to deal with it later. Because right now, the boar is really not effective against the PA, so all you want to do now is to get farm and get to your quick Necronomicon, and then start taking over the jungle. And most importantly, you don't want to be aiming the PA. So Kotter is going to be your target here. The Kotter is always going to be way behind though, so that's going to be very tricky to do that.
And with the blinding light, especially early on, that doesn't make it any easier. They almost did get the Keeper of the Light there, but not quite enough. But PA looking pretty happy. Natsumi, even though normally Beastmaster being a tough matchup, is more or less happy up here. He's a little bit behind the Beastmaster, but should be able to keep up. Looks like for now though, Tiny doing pretty well up against this Kunkka matchup, so it's not too bad. He's not struggling, but he's definitely not winning that matchup.
Yeah, but he's a little bit ahead of the CS though. But it's just because Banner haven't cleared this 4 creep weight yet, and now he'll be even. He's going for the double Brazier build.
Oh, Keeper is here now.
Coming for a little bit of bottle refilling mission. Bottom side is the one that we want to look out for. Morphling doing pretty good. He got a kill early, even though he's suffering a little bit in the CS chart, but he should be fine by not dying. As long as you get to level 5, you are very happy already, because it's just very hard. When you get early levels on the attribute shift, you are okay with surviving in the lanes.
We're going to be seeing Elder Titan coming into that mid lane. Looks like Tiny's also going to be jungling, as Kunkka's got the majority of the creeps on his side of the map. And top lane looks like they're going to be leaving the Beastmaster alone. And it looks like for now, Mac is going to be running into that Kunkka. Haste Stream picked up. Going to be denied from that Tiny. Just making sure they get it with Yaha.
Yeah. And something we haven't mentioned is that there's more setup for this Mirana in this time around. You have the Primal Roar, you have the Kunkka X-Mark, and also Paralyzing Class from Witch Doctor. So it's going to make Yaha's life a little bit easier. Bok, on the other hand, is having only 13 last hit, so not really having a good time.
Oh, there it is. Benther taking a lot of damage from Mac. This Tiny doing some good work on the Kunkka. Ends up getting that kill too. So Mac, regardless of having to deal with the Kunkka and his shenanigans, still going to be able to grab that kill solo.
Yep. Well played by Mac. This is a revenge from last game, right? Because Banner did get a solo kill on him in the last game. And now they are even.
Fair and square? Not quite. Maybe if the game ties 1-1, that's what we're going to be calling fair and square. And ooh, the steal! Yaha snatches it from the Keeper of the Light. It's a really nice steal too. I don't think the Coddle was expecting that leap in. Perfect distancing as well from the Mirana. So they did get something at least for the bounties. But looking at the CS though, PA and Tiny topping the chart, followed by that Morphling and the Beastmaster.
Oh, the career. He's not gonna get the second hit though.
Not quite. A little bit too slow. Looks like the hero, the core at least, that's sort of fallen behind is that Chen. What's the expectations for Chen in this offlane? Is he supposed to keep up with CS, or will he catch up in the jungle? What's sort of that role with the offlane Chen for this game?
I think for the Chen, you want to get like early levels and then get really get your summons and then just group up with your teammates and ram out the tempo, get some towers. I think it's okay for Chen to be a little bit behind in the laning phase. We are going to eventually catch up in the jungle anyways, and most of the time your role is just to really follow your teammates, providing auras, providing the heals, and that's your job.
Look for it. Enough vision for Yaha. Almost got it. Quite though. Now being chased up by Suve, the dagger actually looking forward as well. Now turning on to BHM, the Beastmaster's tanky though, but they're slowly chipping away, eating away at his HP. Gets that crit finally, but that was a little bit too late.
Yeah, Nasmi is really heavy right now in this top lane.
Look, now gonna blink onto that Mirana. Ooh, gotta be careful now because you're gambling with this PA's crits.
Yeah, thanks to the chakra, you can always be able to spam 2 daggers in one. So RNG is going to be in favor of PA, definitely. Tiny is looking to be very aggressive as well. He has the wind lace already, so he wants to be running around with power runes. And Boomies here is going to do his PA a little bit of Christmas gift.
Do you think it's for PA or is it for possibly for Tiny?
Maybe for the Chen as well, honestly.
Dire's middle tower. A better chance at getting the creeps he wants to.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to clear stacks on the side of Adroit. Even Ninja Boogie can do that with some Illuminate, but I don't think he wants to be getting the juicy stacks.
Yep. We'll have to see who these stacks go to, who gets that farm priority. Mac is still in the jungle.
Oh, a fatal brooch for Tiny. What else can you ask for?
Insta smoke as well after that, heading up into that top lane. Looks like Mirana should be the one to break that smoke. Did they see it though? Look at how he left a little bit too soon. Would have been able to spot that out for BHM, but never mind. Beastmaster just gets sniped down by the Tiny, and now it's going to be that Mirana on the run. Doesn't want to lose her life too.
Nice smoke by Ninja Boogie. So this is the tempo start for Tiny now. You will not see him on lane anymore. He'll be running around another stack.
Well, not going to quite get that one though. It's a bit difficult to stack them now. There's so many creeps. It's just so unfortunate in the top lane. If Yaha stuck around a little bit longer, they probably wouldn't have lost the Beastmaster so easily. But happens. Smokes.
Count of Dominator on Chen as well. So this is gonna give them a little bit of tools to really ram out the tempo. And Tiny is going to be the one clearing all the stacks.
Yep.
So
aiming for the early blink dagger,
yes.
It looks like.
Adroit is doing really well in terms of the role of everybody. Chen is just trying to stay alive in this bottom lane, trying to get his item. And Boomy knows that he couldn't pressure this offlane too much, so might as well use his time into stacking the jungle, enabling his Tiny to have a good timing, to have a good dagger timing.
Yeah. Seems like efficiency-wise as well, Adroit, they sort of know how to make the most of their timing, farming as efficiently as possible. Now we're starting to see a push there from Adroit, pushing that bottom T1. And Who's down here as well. Gonna bring in the ghost ship, but just alone. He clears the creeps, but kind of used the ghost ship pointlessly there. Sure, it manages to kill off all the units, but that tower's gonna go down anyway. I suppose the best thing they could have asked for is that tower up top, which they managed to push, so it ends up more or less being an equal trade. Both safe lanes going down.
Yeah, but in the long run, this is definitely a big win for PA because PA is a great hero in getting the ancient script. So being able to get this bottom lane to themselves, PA will be able to utilize the blur to get the ancient, and Morphling is just going to farm some normal nature's camp.
Alice gets there into the Coddle. Still alone though, he's got to be careful. There is backup, we've got the Necro units and the ball coming through as well. Oh, there's the cast coming in. They've got to be careful with their positioning. You don't want the multi-man casts to land. Palos fully committing on that Morphling to try and get the kill onto Mag, but he turns around. The nice strength morph will keep that Morphling alive, and now it's going to be Adroit on the retreat.
Oh, they get Boomy, but they lost 2 outposts for that. I think Boomy is very happy with this because the mission of coming out to top is just to defend the outposts anyways. So this is probably a win for Adroit. Kunkka though is looking for Ninja Boogie.
Oh, there we go. They will find him. Blinding light arrow. Pull back. There we go. Should be a kill onto the bottle. Nice little kill, and it looks like now we're just going to start seeing Execration pushing mid. So it seems like the tables have turned, and Execration are the ones that want to try and put the tempo to this game. They don't want to wait for the PA. They say it's our turn to play. You fight when we want to fight. They've been catching out the Tiny here. Nice Echo Stomp, and you've even got a Tornado coming in there from the Wild Gripper. Nice ultimate there from Boomy. They're still looking for kills. It looks like for now they just want to zone them out. Sure, the tower's down, but they just need to buy time for that PA.
Kunkka is so good in this situation. Clear all the summon ceiling from Chan.
It's being a nuisance as well for Mac, pulling back the Tiny, chipping away at his HP. The game continues, but the tower pushes are likely going to continue happening since Execration, they know that PA is going to be a nightmare to deal with, and they know she's free farming, but there is a bit of a cost to this. You try and take the map control away now so that PA doesn't feel safe farming.
Radiant's bottom
Kunkka, he's going to punish Natsumi. He gets the red mark.
It looks like he's just there to harass the PA. They've got awards. They know that Ben-Her's alone.
Yeah. I see just now that PA might want to go for the Dazzle BKB route, but he has gotten very smooth early game. So might as well just go for the Fury for the endurance for late game.
Maybe they're just looking for that one mistake from Execration. Just shut them down during that one push, and after that your PA is just going to farm non-stop. It's like, oh, gets pulled back into the ghost ship. Oh, straight away, Will-O-Wisp gets tossed out as well, and oh my goodness, the Witch Doctor! Oh dear, he had no chance.
Another X mark.
Yep, they got the follow-up. X into that arrow, leap forward on the Narada as well. This tiny tanky gets tossed up. Oh my goodness. And Morphling finishing him off as well. Palos being able to contribute early to these fights. I think this is what Execration's been missing, that fifth person. Force-Master, very close. It took the creep to finish him off anyway, but they're still leaping forward. Yaha getting vision. They will kill off the Chen as well. Another Echo Stomp. Oh, the Mirana getting hit by it as well. Put to sleep. Her HP was far too low, but Natsumi has come in to contribute to these fights now. Chasing Ben-Her on that Kunkka. He's tanky. He's got the X down. Torrent thrown down as well. Getting ready to go for that pullback. It will not land. And Natsumi looking to finish off the Kunkka. He won't find it though. Palos is still there. Oh, the Chen Creep's doing a lot of work against that Morphling, and Palos is going to have to look at retreating soon. Morphing into strength, getting very tanky. They've got a lot of stuns and a lot of nukes to work with, but it looks like he just waveforms out of there for now.
A lot has happened, but the heroes from both sides didn't die, so that's a good thing for both sides. And we have really seen how easy your life can be when you pair Mirana with a good setup. Kunkka with the X-Mark constantly giving Mirana the opening for the arrow setup.
And I think in particular, something we're not sort of mentioning is that Natsumi and the Morphling, he doesn't need to AFK farm this time. He can come to the fights earlier. I mean, PL can kind of fight as well, but Morphling just seems to fit his style of play much more perfectly. He's got a lot of... He's more aggressive.
Just coming with the waveform and stamp someone out. Yeah, you can say so. And Tiny finally getting his Blink Dagger at 40 minutes. This is going to help him snipe, get a surprise snipe on the Morphling. So Morphling right now has to be really careful if he's playing at full agility.
Oh, they seem mad. There's the Coddle there. They're going to go for the Coddle. Should be a very simple kill. If we get the blinds off, they will grab that Coddle. It's a small kill, but at the end of the day, the Coddle is their best counter pusher on the side of Adroit.
Dire's top tower.
Palos is really playing very aggressive.
It's going to be close to the E-Blade too.
Yeah, unlike the PL that is always farming the engines and whatnot, Morphling is a good hero for you to pressure tower as well while farming, because you have to wait for to get out constantly. And this time around, Adroit side, they don't have good heroes to punish the Morph. There's no one with Spirit Wrestler so far. Your Elder Titan is falling off really hard. This hero is all about team fight. You have no ability to skill. So eventually, Execration supports are going to outscale the supports from Adroit.
what's the progress on this PA? Has she managed to finish any big items? The Battle Fury, or maybe going for the Deso? Like, what's Natsume aiming for?
He's gotten his Battle
gone
Fury
for the
now.
Battle Fury.
Yeah.
So now he's going for that BKB, but does the BKB really change anything for these fights? Because you're still going up against that Beastmaster.
Yeah, and also the Halberd has already completed on the Kunkka, so you are going to face a lot of issues during the team fight. Great atomization from Mander. I want to say he realized that the only core from Adroit that is going to do damage is the PA.
Well, they managed to get the fingers knocked off on that Beastmaster. Tons of damage coming through, and it looks like they should be able to kill him. Oh, wait, that was the Kunkka, excuse me. Beastmaster came in from the top, went for the roar onto the Keeper of the Light. Ends up going into the right side. He will be able to TP out. Now it's RR running away from that Tiny. Should be able to grab him here. Crits, don't need one.
For RR, he's getting bullied.
So Palos gonna have to TP out as well. A little bit worried about getting caught out.
He's getting a very early E-Blade timing though. He's only 300 gold away from the E-Blade, so Execration should be looking at a smoke very soon with the freshly E-Blade from Morphling and try to get a snipe on the PA. PS is going to be our biggest target here from this point onwards. Because PA is going to need a lot of time farming the BKB. He has the Fury, he doesn't want to be involved in fights so far.
I don't know if you can afford to have the PA not on these fights anymore, because now Palos with this E-Blade, I think they're definitely going to start going into these fights 5 versus 3. You can't go 4 versus 5 anymore.
Yeah. This is the prime of Execration. They want to be fighting right now.
So who's the primary target for this E-Blade? Who do you feel like is the most annoying hero to deal with on the side of Adroit?
Honestly, probably you want to take down the Koto first because he's the easiest one to target down. You need Vision to get him though, because his Willow Wisp is really disrupting the combo.
The damage, Maledict as well, and it should be a dead Elder Titan. But the dust slowly dying, and they will be able to grab him there with Ben-Hur, the torrent, making sure Ninja Boogie can't do anything on
All
the
the
bottle.
summon units though, they are all going to fall to the arrow, to the Tidebringer.
Free gold for that Mirana. Yaha going to be pretty happy with that. Now they continue pushing this E-Blade. Oh dear, trying to go for that Coddle there on Palos. Is E-Blade ready, hungry for some Coddle blood. The PA unfortunately still farming in the jungle. Tiny's actually down bottom, so...
If this towers goes down, that's going to open up the Roshan potential for Execration. They have to be really careful for that.
Mac is nearby, he's ready. Yeah, looks like Yaha wants to protect that bottom lane. Oh, Morphing's actually there as well, looking to go for Natsume with an arrow. Oh, look at all those leaps set up for the arrow. They will get it. Where's the damage? E-Blade, everything. Yep, Natsume's dead. 48 seconds. That's a lot of pressure alleviated there from Execration.
This is Mirana in a nutshell. You give him an early start to give him some setups. He'll be able to do this stuff. Just clipping and use you to get you down. It's tough to still push against the Mirana.
For more bots being spotted out there by Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur's Kunkka has been phenomenal this game, just spotting out for the team. The arrow won't land, literally clipping on his backside. Box still running, and it's a Shen. Oh, there comes that, comes in with the Avatar. Yaha goes down, Carnival Roar onto that Tiny. They're even using the Death Ward as well. Oh, the Elder Titan, oh, very important there to keep the Tiny alive. And it looks like the Witch Doctor is going to go down. So no kills going in the way of Execration. It's like losing their own Furies, but here comes the Morphling. The Kunkka still alive. Ben-Hur, they're going to have to retreat now because this Morphling, they know how important Palos is to these fights. And now they're turning Beastmaster coming in as well. BHM Natsume coming into the fight too, needing to back up that team. Palos being the biggest threat so far, has no mana, still trying to go for that Morph. Torrent to delay, but Palos, one waveform, he will get off onto the high ground. Looks like they may have lost that vision. High ground ward, they're still searching, but they can't find Palos. Instead, they'll get that Beastmaster. Yaha's come back into the fight. There's no mana left onto that Kunkka, so he can't cast any spells. They will grab a couple extra kills too. Tiny as well as Elder Titan. They're still chasing. Palos still alive. And a little bit of mana to work with, but Adroit, that was a bit of a sketchy fight. They did get a couple kills, but at the cost of their own heroes.
I think it's a very 50-50 fight, but PA is definitely the winner of this. He's already halfway through the halfway towards the BKB. We have already seen how strong he can be when he's playing these kiting games. whenever Execration is low and after they completed all their spells, PA will be a king in a team fight. Especially after the BKB.
You gotta keep farming on this PA. And this is probably the scary thing for Execration because they know that they've got to keep these fights going and Natsume will eventually become a really big threat, probably even bigger than Palos on that Morphling. And so, is there any changes we're expecting from some of these movements from Execration, or do they just keep pushing until they eventually just whittle down Adroit? Because it seems the moment they slow down, it's a big win for that PA.
Yeah, true. I think right now they want to utilize their amazing ability to catch side lanes with the X-Mark, with the use.
Looking. Oh, found the portal. Look, the backstab coming out from Adroit. They managed to kill off the Witch Doctor straight away, and now everyone is completely isolated on Execration, split up, no backup. Looks like they might also lose the Beastmaster. They got no detection. Beastmaster will get away. That was really good actually for Execration. It could have gone a lot worse, but without the dusts, with no more detection, the Moonlight Shadow protecting the team.
Yeah, can't kill me if you can't see me. And that was a buyback from Quarter as well. BKB usage plus on buyback, and you only lose one hero on the side of Execration. This is a big win. But can you defend this mid tower though? Because if you can't, you are going to open the Russian potential for Adroit as well. You have Execration side that have great tools to do Russian.
Lewis gets thrown down. Beastmaster very low. Look at the Tiny. He wants to try and kill off that Beastmaster before he can do anything in these team fights. And there we go, BHM done and dusted. Beautiful stomp to cancel out the channel. They're still chasing though. Natsume, yeah, he was too far forward. He just gets shut down by the turret, and now it's going to be Adroit on the run. Oh, they're still looking. Palos going forward. This big bad Morphling looking for blood, but he can't quite get vision on anybody. They're still going to chase Bok though. This Chen gonna go down. What is it really going to be doing though? Palos actually found Mac. They will toss him back instead. He's going to go towards the Keeper of the Light instead, knowing that these small squishy supports without the protection of the Tiny, easy to snipe down.
Oh, that was weird because the P has just fallen and Mac was still running in to hope to get a snipe, but that's just too optimistic for them.
Maybe getting a little too confident after some of those successful defenses.
Yeah, they wanted too much after the win. They wanted to push towers, but there's no BKB. That BKB is not available for the PA, so easy X-Mark into comboing them.
And now into Roshan
enough to bring them down, and Roshan will be falling into the hand of Morphling, so this Morphling is already a trouble to deal with for Adroit side, and now it's going to be even harder for them to deal with.
No defense at all. Everyone's just going to spend the rest of this time farming out on Adroit. Got to prep themselves for that high ground, although they do have the benefit of high ground. Keeper of the Light, amazing high ground protection. Same thing with the Elder Titan, and especially if a fight does erupt on that high ground, Tiny can just come in from the back and really just surprise Execration by coming in with the Avatar. We've seen a couple times he's managed to get those backstabs and he gets some pretty important kills, but we're starting to see the Tiny run out of steam too. His Avatos is not insta-killing heroes anymore, and he's also falling to the fact that there's a lot of damage output because of this Beastmaster aura from Execration.
Yeah, and Beastmaster, and for Execration, their hero are also itemizing themselves to stay alive for all these bursts. We have seen the triple brazier plus power threats on the Mirana. He's sitting at 1.7k HP, so you definitely don't want to go for this guy. You're just wasting all your spells for him. And Tiny is going for the E-Blade, so hoping to increase his burst damage. He knows that his damage is already starting to lag and to fall off. But you are really being really one-dimensional though. This Tiny is going to be just jumping in, avalanche toss, and if you don't kill anybody, you have to retreat off and wait for your cooldowns for like a 10-second. So it's really easy for Execration to play around it.
Oh, another smoke.
This time around, it's Adroit that is facing some damage issue.
Hello? Instead they're going to go for the jungle.
Beastmaster.
Oh, they found the Beastmaster, yeah. Do they have the damage for it? Detection? They've got the dust, and that should be the Beastmaster down. Big kill as well, 40 seconds with no buyback. Kuka going to run past that tower. She just finished off his BKB, and they have no vision on this either. Oh, Will-O-Wisp, they've actually found the Kuka. Got the BKB if he really needs to pop it.
Is he delivered? Yeah? smack.
Is it delivered? I saw the courier go to him just now. They managed to stun him up with the Chen. The keeps being a nuisance to that Kunkka so far, but it looks like they can't actually finish anything. Palos is being a nuisance again. They look like they want to finish up this Chen.
That was unreal.
He's the lonely hero straggling behind his teammates, the blink out as well. They got the Beastmaster, but at the cost of the Chen.
Yep. I mean, they have to invest so many things to just kill one Beastmaster because they are heavily lacking in damage right now. Kodo, Elder Titan, and Chen, they really don't do any damage. All they provide is sustain and disable. So PA has to take on most of the responsibility to kill down these heroes, but Execration is not giving them the chance.
And Palos also has Ace Eye of Skadi, so he's now not only going to hit harder, he also reduces the healing, and as an added bonus, he's now got the slow effect from the Skadi, which means if you fight Palos or he's chasing you down, you're not going home.
Yeah, the Elder Titan are going to suffer a lot from this out of Skadi. And not to mention, there's a whole ramp to always keep Execration heroes healthy as well.
Palos is walking into strength, he's got to be careful, very low. He's got the Aegis, but you don't want to waste it. Looks like for now, they're just going to try and preserve the Morphling, and Natsumi is still farming away in that bottom lane. He's got his BKB. Next up is that Deso. It's very close. It looks like it's going to be recalled home.
Yeah, he needs to get any kind of item that can amplify his damage. All he wants to do is to hope for RNG and then quickly snipe down a few heroes before they start the fight.
It's difficult there because once he shows himself, it seems like every time he either gets roared or X'd by that Kunkka.
Yeah.
You're starting to see, I suppose, Execration, they also feel that Natsumi is coming online too, so they're not running at them willy-nilly anymore. They're showing respect to say, we know that your heroes are starting to get a little bit stronger. We need to be careful with how we approach these fights. And it looks like Keeper of the Light's been isolated alone in the river. Looks like he should go down to death ward as well. Wow, they really did not want to fight with that Keeper at all. They're going to keep chasing, but do have vision for X.
Yeah, Execration is really forcing Adroit to just play with themselves. So slowly they're going to choke Adroit, and the only one getting farm is really going to be PA.
I think at this rate, that's probably the best thing yet, right? As long as the PA gets that farm, Natsumi is going to be their last hope. Deso is complete. He will not have any buyback though. He's completely bought this out. And Natsumi, he's going hard. You say go hard or go home, especially when you're playing this carry.
He's got a little bit of assistance from Gaben, though he got an off destruction. So that's going to help him in dealing with. That's going to help him in dealing with the getting down the beefy heroes from Execration. Banner is working his way to the assault. This is probably the best hero, the best item that you want when you're up against the PA. So really, Execration this time, they're itemizing perfectly. This is the weakness of playing a 4 protect 1 lineup, right? It's so easy to deal with the one core from the opponent's side. You can either just burst him down every time or just itemize so well that that limits his effectiveness in the game.
I think also we remember when we saw that T1 game, another way you can, unfortunately it wasn't successful, but in that game, if you just destroy the teammates, then you isolate that carry by himself. Oh my goodness, Ben-Hur, that was a lot of damage, but you can tell they are so scared of engaging into Execration. So scary.
Yeah, Execration is going to play this safe. They know that they have a lead, so nothing to be, they don't have to rush for anything, just going to get more items.
Do you think maybe Execration are playing this a little too safe, or is this what they need to do to ensure the win here?
I mean, they are very close to their first win here, so they definitely want to play safe, I think, and I think this is the correct choice.
Shadow lead, they managed to find the Elder Titan, the Yules from Yaha, they will actually block the arrow with the Tiny instead, but is that maybe a mistake? Because Malak is taking a lot of damage as well, which stopped the first one to go down, actually getting hit by the E-Blade as well. Mac is dead, Primal Roar gets used as well, and unfortunately for Natsumi is isolated, no one's nearby, the PA is dead, with no buyback, only 3 heroes left. Yaha, that leap into the Yules. Oh my goodness.
Mirana and also Palos was doing so much in that team fight. He pretty much solo killed the super beefy Tiny with the E-Blade combo and then turn into the Tiny, and now he's gonna turn into Tiny again. The Boomy is wrong.
Look at that Skadi too. Oh, this blows up Boomy. great buyback as well. They've got to start defending these Raxes. They still have good heroes for defending. Elder Titan with the Echo Stomp, really great for slowing down those Raxes. But for how long can they slow this down? Because without Natsume, they pose no threat to Palos.
Yep. 30 seconds off the line.
Oh, the
Kodo is not gonna die though.
Under attack.
But nothing can stop this guy. He's gonna tear around the towers. He's moving to the second Rex now, and you have the Beastmaster Aura for you to tear around towers even quicker. On top of that, you have the Dragon Steel as well for more power damage.
10 seconds left for that PA to come back. And I think Execration just going to make sure they don't make it too many mistakes here. They're going to slowly back up. There was the blink forward from Mac, but not able to get the Avatos.
Execration is going to chill. The second Roshan is up in any time, I think. So they definitely want to wait for the second Roshan, get the cheese and Aegis before they walk to the high ground again and end them. So they want to be really chill now. Don't want to die. They don't want to die before the Roshan spawn though. That's the biggest thing that you want to avoid.
So probably just some downtime for both teams to get that farm. Now, the good news here for Execration is that they've managed to finally condition Adroit so that they don't separate. And there's kind of a good and bad thing. They're going to be able to protect Natsume because they'll always have 5 heroes, but the bad news is that they won't be able to farm the map efficiently compared to Execration, who feel much more confident. They've got Yaha in that bottom lane picking up EXP on his own, getting his next item, which is going to be the Aghanim Scepter. And this rate, Execration, they are poising themselves to get that first win. I think maybe compared to some of these previous games, they played a little bit messy, a bit too fast, but now it seems like they've kept their composure. Palos, looking for Boomy. Gotta be careful here. Yeah, they're both scouting out that Roche pit, it seems.
No, he's gonna change his mind. So going for the Lotus Orb instead, making sure that Morphling stays alive most of the time, and he knows that Morphling is the one that has to deal with the damage output. He's gonna just go for the utility style, making sure that Morphling doesn't die. I like this though, I like this decision a lot. Because the Lotus Orb is gonna be so good in this game in protecting the Morphling.
I think at this rate, Palos is pretty much unkillable now, as long as they get all of their defensive spells to protect that Morphling.
He's 9-0 and 6, so I think if he doesn't make a mistake like accidentally morphing into full agility, I think he should be fine. Yaha is also doing a very good job, constantly pushing out bottom lane, forcing Adroit to respond to this so that it opens up openings for Execration to do a really quick Roshan snipe if there is a chance for them to do that.
Guardian Greaves completed onto bot as well. That's his second item complete. So he's got access to that Purge. Might come in handy a little bit later on, but this rate, it's not an item that's game-changing, unfortunately. It's not something like a refresher or where you can suddenly have 2 Echo Stomps. It's nothing like a Divine Rapier, unfortunately. They're just trying to poise themselves. It's basically going to be this next high ground if they can defend it, and if they can possibly punish Execration for any silly maneuvers they decide to make. But now it's going to be Roche time, and it's going to be pretty quick too. There is an Echo Stomp available. Moonlight Shadow gets deployed, so it's going to be hard to engage into this unless they got Vision down there preemptively. Boomy gets it with the X onto the high ground. Palos wants to finish up the Elder Titan. They've got the arrow as well, so unfortunately for Elder Titan, he's going to be stuck for a very long time. The roar onto the PA, Natsume did nothing for pretty much an eternity there. Kills up with the Stomper right away, but you've lost the Titan, you've lost the chest. Morphling ends up dying to Mac. Big mistakes being made there by Palos. He does have buyback available. Lotus gets deployed there on the Mirana, who wants to lead one out of there. Oh, gets tossed up by Mac, and that's going to be another kill. Morphling having to buy back here. Just the mistakes that Adroit needed to make the most of. E-Blade to try and delay the death of that Keeper of the Light. Blinding Light as well. Cards getting thrown out. Here comes that Morphling. They did delay the Roshan, but it was a pretty costly delay.
Yeah, I think this is the best that Adroit could hope for. Getting a kill on Morphling and forcing him to buy back, but Morphling is always going to be stronger than PA if PA doesn't have BKB. So this is the thing about the matchup between these heroes, and that's why Morphling is always going to be better against PA when it comes to the really late game. Because Morphling is a hero that doesn't really rely on BKB to do damage, whereas PA is just gonna get kited if he doesn't have the BKB.
I think one of the toughest things as well for Natsume, even though he's playing such a big PA, is that every time he comes into these fights, he gets Primal Lord, whether he's BKB'd or not. And when he's stuck in that stun duration, it's just so much time for his teammates to get sniped down. We're already seeing the damage output from Execration. They can easily delete some of these backline supports in a matter of like 1 to 2 seconds. And unfortunately for the PA, he needs, Natsume in particular, he needs all this backup because, again, their whole lineup revolves around the PA. And if the PA is alive but stunned, so what? Your PA is not doing anything.
Most of the time you want to play PA, you want to be blurred, go in, get 1 or 2 snipe kills without being noticed. But most of the time when you jump into Execration, you are jumping into 5 of them and you're going to get Primal Rod. So like you say, there's a lot of ways to deal with the PA, making sure that he does not just come in with the ninjas, ninja stun and pick up your supports. And now with second Aegis on the hand of Morphling, how are you going to kill these guys the second time? Even though if you're taking him down the first time, he's going to have the stunning, he's going to have the cheese.
Dire are scanning.
Life of Adroit is getting harder and harder right now.
Yeah, it's not getting easier at all, unfortunately. I'm hoping that the 4 protect one would be enough, but that game is a lot difficult to swallow, I suppose. There we go.
Oh, did they really just use the repair kit?
Dire's top
Yeah.
has fallen.
Looks like they did.
Oh, the range?
Radiant's
And they lost the Rex for that too.
Oh, I'm not sure if they're worth it.
Okay, right. They're going to start with the Morphling. He's got the Aegis, so he probably wants to get some of these spells down. So now there's going to be no ulti there for Stockies. Wait, bomb out. Will-O-Wisp is there, but can they kill Palos? Oh, the Lotus gets popped as well. Ghost gets thrown down and throws the Tiny up into the air. Primal War gets deployed as well. PA stuck in that stun duration. Sure, you have BKB, but so what if you're stunned? Palos now going to be on the run. Benjamin with as well. E-Blade Lotus. They take down the Morphling. Got no buyback for the next 100 seconds. They did throw the ultimate there from the Witch Doctor, but now having to retreat. Ben-Hur on the run with those spider legs. It looks like he's going to be thrown in the air with that Yules. Toss buyback, and that should be... Oh...
Dire's top
the turnaround.
Top barracks are under attack.
You have to give a round of applause to Adroit. The way they execute the attempt to kill the Morphling was perfect. They toss him back into the Sanctuary, get a stun, and into Elf Split. So everything to burst down the Morphling, and he didn't have BKB, right? So Ninja Boogie just put a Will-O-Wisp on top of him, making sure that they have enough burst damage to bring him down, and there's 70 seconds without Morphling in the game. This is gonna give PA all the time for him to get down the out towers, but this is only the first step for you to get back into this game though.
Yep, first step. Now they're gonna somehow work in towards that step 2 now, which is taking those objectives and being able to bring the fight to Execration, not doing it the other way around. Because mind you, they did kind of have the high ground advantage. So now they've got to figure out how do we fight them on equal footing. Because that's been their main issue so far. And unfortunately for Natsume, his BKB duration is going to start getting shorter and shorter. He's been using this BKB quite a lot. And 30 seconds of no Morphling, looks like this might just have to be the way that they come back. They're going to take down a set of racks here. They just go straight for T4s. It looks like no, they're going to try and go back for that T2 mid. They're going to bring some people home because look at what Yaha's doing. He's been trying to push those creeps inside the enemy base.
And I think that's a smart choice. They don't want to be overconfident. Whenever you are putting these comebacks, you want to just satisfy all these small wins and slowly get this baby step ahead and slowly climb your way back to the game. You don't want to be pushing your limits. And that's definitely the best choice that the Adroit is doing. Nasumi, it's buying more time for him to get to the Abyssal Blade. He has the Basher, so this is one way to get down the Morphling or just cancelling the ultimate from Witch Doctor as well.
The arrow onto Max, so at least they didn't get Yaha, but they have a rough idea on what's going on here. This game is starting to get really spicy now. We're starting to get close to that late game. 40 minutes now. Items are starting, especially on the cores. They've got a lot of items to work with.
Timeless Relic
Yeah.
taken up by Adroit. Did they give this Tiny or out the Titan?
Find out in a minute.
Both are really good with the extra duration of stuns.
Who do you feel like is more important with it though?
Scanning.
Who would utilize it better in this game?
Radiant's top
I think Bumi might want to hold on the Orb of Disruption because he has BKB, he'll be able to punch. Whereas Tiny, all he do is to spell cast, so will be Tiny holding a Timeless Relic.
Witness after as
Radiant's
well.
top tower has fallen.
Oh, Windgale Tracker is going to be really useful. Another extra 1 HD always feels good against the PA.
You see that extra HP. So it looks like the game is starting to slow down now. That momentum that they were looking at for Execration after that, because they're pretty bad team fight up top. They did get the set of Raxes, but pretty expensive. Oh, they managed to find that Kunkka.
He's there for sure.
Yeah, they should be able to grab him here. Still running crits and crits. No crits, but he still gets the kill. That's 90 seconds off the board as well. Minute and a half of free time now for Adroit, unless they want to maybe try and push up high ground. But I think now you just want to get as many items as you can on that PA. Yaha still being a pest though, pushing down that mid lane, trying to keep those creeps on Execration's favor. Oh, Tiny trying to look for Yaha there. He's gonna blink on out of there. All the crew coming in as well, having the diverted path.
Oh, here comes the tier 4 items.
Yeah.
Salvo Hammer, Illusionic Capes.
This game's getting crazier and crazier.
I think the best one PA might want to get is the Princess Knife. I think
Princess Knife.
that's gonna be pretty good, especially in building the PA, right? You can just blur, stay in the smoke, and then jump in with the instant hacks. That's gonna be really useful.
I think especially on someone like the
Beastmaster,
Beastmaster, because he seems to cause the PA a lot of grief, right? Comes in, just primal roar, basically Beastmaster's job is done, right? Just stun the PA. But then once you get that, if he doesn't get the stun off, Natsumi not only gets the kill, now you're going to be fighting 4v5. And Natsumi's only issue's been the Beastmaster, so let's see how they sort of deal with this. We've got Ninja Gear being picked up on the side of Adroit. Also Moonlight Shadow being used. I believe Yaha's using this to get away himself, actually being spotted out by Bok. There are a lot of enemy heroes nearby as well, so Marana wanting to get into position so that he doesn't get sniped. Everyone so far is in the Radiant side of the map, which is really peculiar. You would have thought that it would have been Adroit's side of the map, but seems like for now Adroit feeling pretty happy with their position. They're happy with Natsume's progress so far, and those items that they picked up from their previous team fight feeling a bit better, at least not being choked out anymore, which was their main issue up until this point.
Yeah, and they're confident now. 5 minutes more.
Who will they feel on?
Yaha.
Yaha, yes, with the Lotus Orb now, so he's going to just use that for now to get away. Abyssal's complete on Natsumi, so that's a really big item picked up. If he can get the Abyssal off before the Primal Roar, then Natsumi's done his job. Just snipe someone down and all of a sudden it's going to be shambles there for Execration.
Right now is the battle of the third Roshan. Either Agonyms or Pressure Shot is going to be really great for both sides. The double Raw or the double below wall whips.
Really Yaha, the BKB gets used. E-Blade to protect that. Marana Yules as well. Lotus Orb, Blink, Leap. Oh, they've used the Will-O-Wisp as well.
Good kite from Execration. Well, it's a 5-second BKB anyways for Natsumi, so he doesn't mind to just pop the BKB early, but that's definitely not optimal, right? You don't want to just go in, pop BKB at the very first second of the team fight, because
but we got the Moonlight Shadow, so now it's going to be Execration on the hunt. It's not Adroit. They are grouped up, so at least if a fight does happen, they will be ready. Let's see what angle they decide to come from. Kunkka spotting out the creep. May have just seen the Coddle and the Tiny as well. No, they're going for the Roche. And it looks like Adroit have no idea about this either. They're going to kill the creep. They want to make sure the creep doesn't see it, but obviously if you're Adroit, you know this Kunkka is actually trying to prevent the Roshan from being spotted. The line's been drawn all too late.
who's going to get Agonyms? Let's see. Oh, the Kunkka. Nice. This is really great. Especially against a droid that PA has only 5-second BKB, so the Torrent Storm is going to be really useful in kiting the PA around.
But they might lose the Kunkka. He's a little bit far from his team.
He has a cheese and BKB. I think if he doesn't get burst down, he should be fine.
He missed out on the initiation. He tried to predict where Ben-Hur was going to land. Arrow, oh, it's a little bit too early though. Couldn't quite get that angle. They will get the dagger off. You can see both teams are trying their best to get the best angle for their squads, but no one really in the right spot to start a fight yet.
Right now the game is in control of Execration. They're doing a smoke again. They'll be going in with a Moonlight Shadow perhaps.
A bit relentless here. They're going onto the high ground. worst thing they could hope for is through high ground, have Palos being gets the stun there by Natsume. There we go, onto the high ground. Mac actually going to be bursted down first. And it looks like they're going to try and grab the kill onto that Beast Master Raw. Actually ended up happening anyway. And now Natsume isolated. Do they have the damage to finish off the PA? They did end up buying back on that Tiny. They really need Mac for this team fight. The BKBs doesn't really matter. The boat gets used as well. Natsume will go down 100 seconds. He's got that buyback ready if he needs to use it.
Buyback.
He's going to be using it. Morphling still chasing after Mac. He knows the Tiny's already used his buyback. Morphling, he's been using his Aegis. Finally, Chen going down as well. So many duels. Elder Titan, they do finish off the Tiny. So now permanently off the table. Boomy going to be the next hero to fall. It seems being stoked by that Skadi. But here we come. Natsume has to save it for the team, but he's all alone. Can he grab it? Palos, that's his big target. Looks like it won't be the case. They will retreat for now. Lots of buybacks being used, but Mac, one of their biggest heroes, not going to be there for the next 100 seconds. Coddle at least will have a buyback, but this might just be the opening execution needed. Mac, really important when it comes to these initiations.
Yeah, they take a very successful fight outside of the base. So right now, if Execration wants to walk up to the high ground, any kills that they get, they are pretty much guaranteed that anyone is dead, doesn't have buyback anymore. And MP is absolutely bad when he buys back because he doesn't have the heavy duration to play with. So even if you buy back, you are going to feel really bad into jumping into the opponent.
It just seems like one of the biggest problems for Natsume is he can just never stick to anyone. He's always being kited, he's always being stunned, he's always chasing somebody. He's not able to just sit on top of them and finish them off. Even the E-Blade as well, you know, the E-Blade on the Morphling just doesn't make his job any easier.
And also, they can always also choose to E-Blade their life as well, right? You don't have the nullifier to get rid of that. Another
all gets used. They really want to get the kill onto the Elder Titan. No more Echo Stomps for you. They say Chen goes down as well. There's the buyback on the Elder Titan, but it might just be it. They're focusing down those T4 towers. 3 heroes go down. They still have the PA, but with no one else to back him up, Natsume going down yet again. That's a dieback. Elder Titan who finished off in the fountain. Oh dear, Adroit, they just get picked apart. Execration, it was a long battle, but they played it safe. They did make one mistake going up onto that high ground fight a little bit earlier with that